Content warning. Cursing. The dream.
Hello, my name is Faith, and I'm in my apartment in Camrose right now, sitting in my spare room, and I'm going to tell you about a dream that I had. So, in my dream, I was with this woman that I don't know very well. I'll call her Lisa. And we were running through this marketplace, and we were these small dog creatures. We kind of looked like little naked humans, but in my dream, I knew that we were actually dogs, even though we looked like naked humans. So we're in this marketplace, and we were really hungry, and we were trying to find something to eat. So we were just kind of scampering around, looking for food scraps, and all of the shop owners were really mad about it. So they're throwing knives at us and chasing us whenever we got close to them. And we weren't having much luck. And for a long part of the dream, I was just running with my friend Lisa, running away from people. And then finally we decided to leave the market, and we were walking down the sidewalk towards this forest, when this dog on a leash started growling and kind of jumped out of nowhere. And so Lisa had to lie down on the sidewalk and submit to it and like show it her belly, so that it wouldn't attack us. But then it decided not to attack us and let us go. And then we kept going on down the sidewalk, down this hill towards the forest. And then I woke up. The end. What does it mean?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I laughed many times.
Oh my God. I laughed and also felt horror. Just the image of tiny naked humans scrabbling around in a marketplace, but actually being dogs is so...
She's like, but I knew we were dogs.
We just looked like little naked humans, but we were actually small dog creatures.
The marketplace. And also I was just really casually describing, it's we were hungry and we were looking, and people were kind of mad at us, and they were throwing knives and stuff, just casually, you're just running away from people throwing knives at you. That's bad.
It sounds so scary. So scary. And you're hungry, you're presumably kind of starving, you're trying to find scraps.
Yeah.
And then that encounter with the dog on the leash.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I feel like we've talked about dogs before. I don't remember which dream we talked about them with, but the idea of dogs, at least in some versions of dreaming, being your instinct side or your uninhibited side. Right. It was the infestation dream where she and her dog are waiting through the night. It's your dog, the dog there feels it's kind of your true self or your uninhibited self before social pressures kind of mold you into something.
Uh-huh.
But in this dream, that feels kind of twisted in a way because we've really entered into dogness in such a way that you see the social norms of dogs.
Yeah.
It's
very immersive. If it is a metaphor, it's a very, very immersive one.
Yeah, what would that mean? It's if we were to continue with that uninhibited idea or the pre-social conditioning idea, it's there are still rules before you have social conditioning. It's just that the rules are different than the ones that exist after social conditioning. You know? Because Lisa follows the rules of okay, there is a stronger dog here who's gonna fuck us up. I have to submit, show my belly, be open to getting killed by this dog to show my respect for it. And that's how it works. And it did.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I kind of think that fits because, if everyone in the world, if everyone in the world is just operating on basic instinct, you trying to fulfill your basic needs, acting just to get by, in a wild, wild west, each man for himself style scenario. If somebody's got more power than you, you have to you can't try to outpower them.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like one of the things that makes humans, well, this isn't just human actually, it's like all kinds of animals, but a mechanism is that there are different ways of approaching power and that power operates on all different kinds of levels. So like I'm thinking about like cuttlefish, just to take a swerve into the deep sea right now. But like cuttlefish, one of the things that's documented in their behaviors is that you've got your alpha males who are the big, physically strong ones. You got, you know, your females who are shacking up with the alpha males, having the babies. And then there are the small males that aren't physically strong, but are clever, who disguise themselves as females so that the big, strong males let them into their little harem so that then they end up impregnating the females. And then the alpha male is just like, you know, totally oblivious. And it's like, so animals are sneaky as fuck, you know, across the board, humans and other animals, like all of us. It's like sometimes you like are confronting power in this way where, yeah, one strategy is this like direct kind of relation with it. And then there are all of these sort of subtler, more indirect ways of negotiating. I don't know where I go with that then, because that's just...
Well, I just think that's like, if you're saying like humans... The natural instincts are more like animals, and it doesn't fit because animals are sneaky.
No, humans are sneaky.
I say maybe the metaphor is more like if it's like if you're talking about like human nature and natural instinct as like not any as just like what you might feel like first feeling that is. Not necessarily what any human or any animal would actually, like, act out. But just what your first impression. Or, like, first... it's just the word instinct. Yeah. It's just what your instinct... You know what what I mean by instinct is, like, a human... just an instinct.
Okay, so, like, I guess what I'm coming up against in myself right now is the fact that I don't think I know how to separate actually the layers of like instinct, intuition, learned response. Like all of that feels very complicatedly intertangled to me. And like I do think that there are extremes where you can see like, okay, this is a very deliberate, constructed behavior that's happening right now. Versus this is something that seems to be more, maybe not universal, but maybe universal. You know, it's like breathing is universal behavior that humans engage in. Wearing like ruffles around your neck is something that they did in the 1800s for some reason, you know, and like those are two separate camps. But then when you get into like actual behaviors, it just feels really challenging to me to figure out where the line is between what's an instinct and what's like a more like, I don't know, learned.
It's like it's informed by something. Yeah.
By something else.
I see.
Do you feel that way though, or do you think that there's a clear line?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, other than things like breathing or like if you touch something hot, your hand, you recoil your hand, you know, like just that sort of thing.
Yeah. But then there is stuff like, it seems like the fight, flight, freeze response on some level that happens in extreme circumstances across the board. It's like a physiological. But then you have 3 options,
so you're not saying like automatically it would be one.
That's true, and it does. And I feel like you can do things to encourage. You know, I don't know. It's like I feel like you can learn about those responses in a way that allows you more options potentially.
Well, do you think that this whole dream is, like, do you think she is experiencing this whole, like, desperation, like, you know, lack of basic needs being met, like, fleeing danger? Do you think she's experiencing those type of things in her real life in some way? Like, do you think this, like, do you think it's a...
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, okay, so, like, one thing is that I feel like there's the forest that they're trying to get to, you know, or they're moving in the direction down the hill to this place that's, like, less inside, like, to me, within the context of the dream, it felt like the forest was more like freedom, was less scary than this, like, really stressful circumstance where they're trying to get these things, but there are all of these aggressive forces. So, like, maybe in some way it's about the feeling of, being within, like, really reactive. It's like everything is going on in the moment. You have to be responding as things are coming up. You don't have time to reflect or think about things. You're just in the flow of stuff, and you're trying to get to this place where there'll be more space. Yeah.
And there's even, challenges along the route between once they've decided to leave the chaotic space. Yeah. Even once they have the forest as the destination set in mind, there's still challenges along the way, but they are able to, like, strategically respond to them. Mm-hmm. They're not just, like, dodging knives. They're like, okay, what do you do when a dog attacks you? You roll over and you show them your belly. Okay, it worked. Okay, we can carry on. Like, it's like stages.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, because it really didn't feel like in the market they got anything that they wanted. I mean, they didn't get killed, and that's good, but I don't remember.
They didn't seem to get food.
No. They're just trying. Oh, it's also frantic.
Are we allowed to add some context? Like, sure. From real life?
Yeah, let's
knowledge that we do have?
Let's baselessly throw in some... We make the rules!
It's, like, less baseless then, but...
Well, we've been doing this consistently throughout this whole project, so... We're cherry pickers.
Yeah. Okay, so... The forest is Nova Scotia. Uh-huh. The marketplace full of knife throwers.
Is Alberta.
Is Alberta.
Yeah, Faith.
Where the dreamer currently lives and is not planning on staying forever.
Yeah. Well, we can only hope that is what it means.
I really do hope that Faith doesn't feel like she's having knives thrown at her, though.
No, I hope not. I mean, it's like I feel like the world at the moment, I mean, I think no matter what, we can see the marketplace as the world of things going on that feels threatening, scary, and that you're trying to respond to, but that it's difficult. Like, you kind of have to get out of the game somehow, or like you have to figure out a way of responding where you're not just in the constant cycle of running from knives being thrown, Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like this trajectory where you're like, this is a destructive environment. Like, we can see a place that's going to be calmer, that's going to be like maybe just a better place to be. And the route there is still not easy.
Yeah.
But, you get strategic and you go and you roll over for the dog where you need to, and you...
Oh, God.
And you make your way to the forest.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, too, because, like, in the dream, it's Lisa, it's the friend who knows to do that.
Yeah.
And that sort of feels like a tense moment because it could have ended in...
Could go badly.
Yeah, it could have ended in them both getting just killed by this dog.
But yeah, it's like the experience of somebody that, some acquaintance, some like companion that is sticking their neck out for you.
Right. Yeah.
And just demonstrating like this like looks dangerous, but it's the way that you get through this situation.
Right. And what's up with the dog on the leash? Like,
yeah, who's that?
I thought that was interesting because it made me think of, like, I was once acquainted with a dog that was blind, and she was so much more aggressive when she was on a leash than when she wasn't, because when she was on a leash and blind and she detected that there was another dog around, I think she just felt totally trapped. Whereas when she wasn't on leash, she could get away, or she could feel like she was more in control of the situation.
Yeah, I could just maneuver in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That, like, like that, I mean, that the origin of violence comes from the origin of violence comes from some kind of oppression. Like, how do you, like, what is the unmet need that is causing this thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, how do you, like, with anything that's one of those, like, body reactions to something like a strong emotion, I feel like there's that, which is, and especially with anger, there's that which is, like, the shell that's getting projected outside of the thing. And then there's the thing that's actually steering that ship, which, is often many, many layers beneath it, because the vulnerability is being protected by a lot of things. But like, just thinking for myself when I'm angry, and like how sometimes it takes me like days of like trying to like journal it out and talk it out and whatever until I actually figure out what the thing is that's going on beneath that like outward feeling that's happening. What's the leash? How do you
what I notice is that you don't ever know, like, you don't ever see what's holding the leash.
And I wonder, like in the dream where she and Lisa are both like simultaneously dog creatures and little naked humans, is the scary dog also that, or is that more just dog and like what's,
I definitely pictured that dog on the leash as like a dog,
right? Yeah.
And them as like, they're almost like hairless dogs, like they're just like little
weird rat human dog things. God.
And like smaller and scrawnier than the dog.
Yeah And things that are between human and other animals are just a particular kind of horror visually. You know, it's like Uncanny Valley and like a really unsettling.
I wonder if Faith like was trying to dream that she was actually just a dog, but then like the dream didn't quite fully form that.
Yeah, it just kept like
it got stuck part way, but it was like, but you're a human though.
Yeah.
But just make the human the shape of a dog. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's just a glitch.
We can imagine.
Oh man. Wow, I wonder what it's like when they get to the forest, if they get there. Hopefully it's nice. Sounded nice. Well, if the first way that you talked about this, where the forest is just her getting back to Nova Scotia, it's gonna be nice if we can actually hang out, and if it's not second wave by then, we'll see.
We'll see.
Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening.